Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Redhead Boo here, back with a new video. So my voice still isn't exactly 100%, but it is a lot better than it was. So hopefully I'll be able to get through this video without having a coughing fit. So yeah, today's video has been planned for quite a while now, and I know I went to Disney, and in January I went to see Dan and Phil on the Terrible Influence tour, and as always I like to do a review of the show, usually in the form of a Q&A, and I thought since I have a day off work and I don't really have much planned for today, I thought I would do the Q&A today because I have 10 questions to get through. So yeah, I just think I'm gonna get started. But before I do start, I went to see Dan and Phil at the end of January with the Titties Nation group chat. If any of you guys are watching, hello, love you all, you're all amazing and you all made the tour so special. I went to see them in Newcastle at the Tyne Theatre and Opera House, and it is one of my favourite theatres in Newcastle. So yeah, so without further ado, I'm just going to get on with it. So question number one, what was the overall theme and concept of the tour? So the overall theme and concept of this tour was about Dan and Phil's influence on us as an audience, because they are two of the most outrageous, hilarious, amazing people that I have been watching on YouTube since I'm going to say this now, I haven't watched them from day one, but I have been watching them since 2012, so quite a long time now. And I basically grew up watching their content on the internet, and I do think they did have an influence on me because stuff that they said rubbed off on me. And I do remember when they went on the hiatus that it was a hard time, because if I was in a crap mood, I would just watch their content and it would instantly cheer me up and just make me laugh. So yeah, that was a bad time. But then when they came back, and I do think now their videos are just so much more outrageous. They don't really care what people think, they swear, they're very open, and yeah, I just love it. So yeah, and just the concept of this tour was so much fun, and just seeing their YouTube career and everything about it. Question number two, what was the energy like in the audience? Now, I'd never, before going to this tour, I had never seen Dan and Phil on stage or in person, so I knew to sort of expect the unexpected, and just that it was going to be one of the best nights of my life. And when I say it was one of the best nights of my life, that is no exaggeration. It really was such an amazing experience. And yeah, but I think especially the crowds up north, they do tend to be a bit more crazy and a bit more up for a laugh. So I do think because Phil's obviously northern as well, that sort of helps with the audience and their relationship with one another. So yeah, I do think it gives off a more, what's the word? We just rub off on each other. So yeah, I do think it was a bit crazy and just lots and lots and lots of fun. And everyone there is there for the same reason. And you just meet so many incredible new people and I did meet a lot of people this tour, and I will say now that me and them people are going to be friends for life. So yeah. Question number 3. Did they incorporate fan interactions into the show? Yeah, I do think like they did say throughout the whole tour that the tour was for us, and like how when they came back they knew they wanted to go on a tour to like see people who they haven't seen before or like haven't seen in a long time, and like certain aspects of the show did have like it was to do with us, and like there was a part of the show where we had to vote on what we wanted to see, and like what got the most votes or basically what they chose would have an impact. And there was just such funny moments in the show that like not many people could get away with, but I think because it was Dan and Phil, they can just get away with anything, and the audience would just be like going crazy. And then if like boyfriends or mums and dads were dragged along, then they wouldn't really know what to expect unless they've been watching with the people who were going. So yeah, trying to remember what else was involved in the show because it was a long time ago now. And just I think they did one about like fan theories, and I do think that like that had an impact on us. So yeah. Question number 4. What were some standout moments or surprises from the show? I do think the Sister Daniel confessions segment of the show was like one of the most standout for me. It was just incredibly funny, and because I was part of the splash zone, as Dan quoted, we did get very wet. So basically, before the show there was like a QR code on the stage, and if you scanned that it took you through to a website where you could input a confession if you wanted to. Now I did give a confession, however it wasn't chosen, but that's fine. And just the ones that were chosen were so outrageous, and I do sort of understand why they were chosen over like some of them, because mine was more funny than outrageous, I think. And like once they did that, they would cleanse the audience with like water pistols, and it was like Sister Daniel and Father Philip, and it was just hilarious, like so funny. But I do think for me another standout moment of the show was like Phil's emotional speech, and like Dan did a speech about his mental health as well, and it was really nice. And I just feel like ever since they came out as well, I do think the shows have been more honest, and I do think this one was a lot more honest than any of the other ones that they've done. And yeah, I just loved this tour so much. But one of my favourite bits of the show, I don't know, yeah, I don't think there's a question, but for me my favourite part was the boxing match. I just think that was so cleverly well done, and like yeah, it was just so funny, and they are just two very funny, amazing people. So yeah. Question number 5. Did they bring back any classic Dan and Phil humour or inside jokes? So the start of the show, I think it was, they did like a little recap of like their whole YouTube career. And there was a lot of inside jokes from like previous videos, basically them just taking the piss out of themselves for about 10 minutes. And to be honest, that's what I really loved, like the fact that they can take the mick out of like their past selves and not really care. Like not many people would do that. Like they've just basically roasted themselves, and I really appreciated that and just thought it was a great aspect of the whole show. So yeah. Question number 6. Did the tour live up to my expectations? Yes, yeah, I do think it did. In a way, I sort of knew what to expect, but because I had just been avoiding all spoilers, like, I also didn't know what to expect. I knew that, like, it was going to be outrageous, it was going to be funny, and I just, in a way, my admiration for them has just shot up, like, over the past few years. And like before now, I had always wanted to see them live. I'd always wanted to meet them and just have a chat with them and just, yeah, just open up to them, I guess. And to get the opportunity to like do a lot of them things within this tour was just an incredible experience. And as well, like, to meet so many people. And like I said, I have created lifelong friends through them. Like, even when the tour got announced, I didn't really have anyone to go with, and I was a bit like, in a way, I was sort of lost because I knew I wanted to go, but like friends that I have that wanted to go, they couldn't go to the same date I wanted to go to, because obviously Newcastle being the closest date to me, I was like, I just sort of want to go to that one out of all of the ones that did get announced. And everyone else was a bit like, that date wouldn't really work for us. So it was a bit hard at the time. And then I got added to this group chat on, I think it was Twitter first and then Instagram. And I remember messaging Scarlett, and honestly, for her to say like, I know we don't know each other, but I don't mind if you tagged along with me, and she booked our tickets because the day that tickets went on pre-sale, I was at work. And honestly, for her to get us like the meet and greet tickets and like 3rd row, technically 2nd row because that theatre is tiny, it was just such a humbling moment for me. And then to be added to this group chat and just to be treated like family almost. And like then when we met Dan and Phil, to have like a massive group photo with them all together was just such a nice like thing. And then for me to get the card and then it all to be signed by all my new friends to give to him, and it was just so lovely. And yeah, like I've said so many times in this video, I will never forget the friendships that I've made, and just like going to the Dog and Parrot with Rihanna and Kai on the night before and staying in the same hotel as well. It was so lovely. And yeah, definitely a time I won't ever forget. So yeah, it did live up to my expectations. So question number 7. Were there any emotional or unexpected moments? So I guess the emotional moments were when like Dan and Phil were talking about like Phil, I'm trying to remember what it was chatting about because it was such a long time now. I think Dan opened up a lot about his mental health, and especially since writing his book, You Will Get Through This Night. So it was always related to that. And then Phil just being like, at the time of the hiatus, like they were lost, and then to come back and have us all support them again, and like the reaction they got to coming back being so humbling, but again just saying how much they did need to go on the hiatus and just sort of cope with what was going on at the time, and then like having the lockdowns and everything. And yeah, so it was a hard time but also a good time. So yeah. Question number 8 was what did I get in my VIP merchandise? So because I knew this question was in the list, I decided to go and get my bag. So this is the bag that we got. So it says Terrible Influence. It's blue because that was the main colour of the tour. And then it's got the Dan and Phil logo on the other side. And then one of the things we got was this signed photo. And yeah, mine is a bit tatty because I haven't quite worked out what I'm going to do with it yet. And then we have, what else do we have? Oh yeah, we have the lanyard that we got given, which I wore in my meet and greet because that's what I do if I get a lanyard. And it's really, really nice. Like, I don't know how well it is going to show up on camera, but it is really cute. And one of my friends on the group chat actually made us some bracelets. Now, a few of them are upstairs at the minute, but she made them with like our names on, which I think was really cute. I think I've got another one somewhere. Yeah. And then she wrote one that had the name of our group chat, which was Titty's Nation. So yeah. And then we actually got given a one from Dan and Phil, which said very important fan, but not fan as in the usual spelling, but as in PH, because in the fandom, everything to do with the fandom you put PH in front of. So yeah, it's just funny. And then what else did we get? Oh yeah, and then we got some photo cards, and I obviously needed somewhere to store them. So on Amazon, I bought this book, and then I personalised it. Oh, I've got hair stuck on it, lovely. I personalised it with a few things just to make it a bit prettier. And then these are some of the photo cards that I got. And then on Etsy, I actually bought some these because you got 6 photo cards that were included in the package. And then I actually ordered these 2 on Etsy. So you've got like moments from the tour, and this one is, so that's Father Philip, and then obviously Sister Daniel, and then that's a moment from tour, and then I think that's all like, oh no, and then I have these ones as well, because one of my friends, Scarlett, actually like had a few duplicates, so she said that she would send me some, which I did pay for her. I did pay for them, but yeah, they're really cute. I love them. So I am hoping that I am going to be able to collect some more, because that's where they'll go, in there. And then oh yeah, and then because you could get a item signed, and the item that I got was basically this from Etsy. I actually got it made, and it says, because it was the Terrible Influence tour, I thought I'm going to get it personalised, and I put Dan and Phil are my YouTube terrible influences, and then they signed it on the back, which I thought was really, really cute. And I just wanted something a bit more different than like just getting one of the photo cards signed, so yeah. And then the next part of that question was, did I buy any merch? So because this was a few days before I went to Disney, I didn't want to go too crazy with the merch, and to be honest, there wasn't a lot of merch that I desperately wanted. But there was one piece, and it's this hoodie, and it is so cozy. I bought it in a medium because I wanted it to be slightly oversized rather than like fitted. And honestly, I live in this hoodie. Like, it's so cozy. So, and if anyone else has this hoodie, then they will know what I'm on about. So, the penultimate question, question number 9. How was it meeting them for the first time? Was it everything you were expecting? To be honest, I didn't really know what to expect because I had never met them before. And like getting the chance to finally meet them and just to have a conversation with them was the best feeling ever. I was very nervous, like, before it came to my time to meet them. And honestly, as soon as I walked around the corner and, like, Dan hugged me, I just felt so at ease, and it was really nice. And all of my confidence just came, like, flooding back, and, like, the nerves just disappeared. And, like, I hugged Phil, and then they were like, oh, have you got anything for us to sign? And I showed them, and then I basically explained to them how, like, I have my own YouTube channel, and they were the ones who, like, influenced me and gave me the confidence to just give it a go, because, like, watching them on YouTube and just seeing how confident it made them, especially Phil, I just thought, you know what, maybe I can do that. And I did. And I thought, you know what, I just have to tell them. And I do think it went down really well. And then to give them the gifts and the card and just seeing how much they really liked it, and yeah, it was just such a nice feeling. And then, like, just thinking, oh, we'll have to go into the Q&A now. But then we were allowed to do the group photo, so, like, as soon as I met them, I, like, waited in the corner, and then when the last person was done, we all came back and had the group photo. And it was so nice. And honestly, they are, like, two of the most down-to-earth people I have ever met in my life. So yeah, I loved them a lot. And then final question is, would you recommend this tour to other fans? Yeah, I would, because it was one of my favourite, like, shows that I've seen, and especially because it's something so different, because I've never seen any, like, YouTubers do a stage tour. And I knew that when Dan and Phil announced this one, I was like, I have to go. And I'm so glad I did. And I definitely don't think that'll be my last ever Dan and Phil tour, because if they do any more, I will guarantee to be there, because it was amazing and definitely one of my favourite memories. And I still can't believe I've met them. Like, watching their videos back now, knowing that I have met them, is one of the most bizarre feelings in the world, but it is also one of the most amazing. So yeah, but anyway guys, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone who has tuned into this video. If you did enjoy this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all very soon, because this week there is not just going to be one video, there is going to be 2, so I hope you enjoy. But yeah, for now, this is Redhead Boo signing off. Bye!